All right, it's time now for me to welcome someone who I consider like a little cousin to me. She graduated high school in 2013, but not only that, as far as graduating high school, she was a hooper. She played at Centennial High School, won a state championship. She was the Gatorade Player of the Year here in Nevada, and now she is my guest here on Sports Night. Thank you very much for coming in. Jada, how you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, first of all, how does it feel to be on the desk after kind of being an intern here, and now you're my guest?
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. It's familiar, so I feel comfortable. Yeah, I'm ready to talk about some basketball. I feel like basketball was such a huge part of my life, and it's kind of like I strayed away from it, so I'm happy to be here, especially sitting with you talking about it.
That's my girl. Okay, first of all, I mean, the big reason I wanted to ask you about Karen Weitz, Coach Weitz. You won a state championship with her at Centennial High School. She just announced that she's going to be the boys and the girls basketball coach. What were your first thoughts as soon as you saw the link? Like, hey, she's going to be the coach of the Centennial boys and girls.
Aren't you tired? I mean, like, I graduated almost 10 years ago, which is crazy to say.
You're
like
old.
you said, yeah, exactly, right? I'm getting old.
Stop.
But just to think that she's still doing it and doing it at such a high level and a high rate and producing even more successful women basketball players and her own success and accolades that she's continued to stack up, and to think she was about to get ready to maybe stop and retire. We all have been kind of guessing for it. And then to hear that she just added something else to her plate, I mean, kudos to her, because if anyone was going to do it, it would be her, though, just because her mentality, and she's so tough. And if anybody could take on both tasks at one time, I wouldn't vote for anybody else to do it but her, though.
No, I got you. I mean, to me, it seems like that would be that seems like one of the toughest jobs ever,
Yeah.
right? But is she the type of person that seems like she always wants a challenge? If you kind of get that from her?
Oh, absolutely. And she's instilled it into her players. And I think even it's so funny going to University of Kansas and playing college. And when you're in that space in high school mentally, it felt like turmoil. And you're like, oh, my God, this is so hard. And why is she so hard on us? And why? But as an adult, you appreciate that. And as you move on in your life, that carries on to so many other things outside of basketball. So I couldn't be more grateful. And whoever gets to experience her, men or women, is going to be lucky, because you'll get something from her that you're going to take way past between those lines.
I got you. So you kind of talked about the fact that you graduated almost 10 years ago, but you still have a relationship with her where you come back and you go and see her and whatnot. I mean, how is it that the fact that she's kind of been somewhat like a mother figure or, a mentor to you? I mean, she's that type of person.
Absolutely. She is a very to-the-point person, which I respect so much. Her standards don't change or waver depending on who she's dealing with. She is who she is, which has instilled a little bit of that in myself and the players and anyone that she's encounters. There's nothing but love and respect for her, and especially off the court, because like you said, especially as you get older, those lessons and those tough things you go through, you realize like she's just preparing you. And I was so much more prepared than other girls going into the University of Kansas, where it was like in high school, like I said, it felt, oh my God, why? And then you get to college and you get outside of that, and then you're more prepared. You understand time management, you understand mental toughness, you understand so many other concepts that other people don't get just based off of being under her playing basketball in high school.
I got you. And as a woman, as a young woman now, all the stuff that is coming with women's empowerment.
Right.
I mean, Becky Hammond is now the coach for the Aces. She coached in the NBA. Coach Weitz is kind of following the footsteps to be the men's or boys and girls, because I guess high school students. So how do you think her voice will resonate with the young boys? I mean, obviously, since boys have a great history of being a good basketball program as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm interested to see how it goes. It's so funny because when you talk about like mental toughness and capacity, to me, I'm not saying this just because I'm a woman, but men are a little bit softer than women mentally at a younger age. I feel like it's going to be interesting because women, I mean, we're kind of taught to follow a certain line. I feel like it's kind of easier to get us in line because we're more keen to do so, and boys I feel like are going to be a little bit more like this, but I feel like she'll be able to weed out the weak ones and keep the ones that she needs to do what she needs to do and build the program to what it needs to be. But it's definitely going to be an interesting task, I feel like.
Okay. Now, this is something I will ask your brother when I get a chance to, but have you guys talked about that at all? And I guess what was his reaction when, oh, wow, that Weitz is going to be the coach.
Yeah. No, his reaction was pretty much the same as mine. Like, oh my God, like she's doing another challenge. Like, it's like she just keeps going. Like, and we always laugh because I was like, what if she would have been the coach while you were there? And like, of course, he's like, I would have been fine. I mean, because we're both mentally tough. We're raised on the same household, so we have the same values. But like I said, if you don't come from somewhere that's structured or you don't have a lot of discipline or mental toughness, you're either going to learn quick or you're going to get weeded out. The weak ones will always get weeded out. So because she has a certain standard and she won't lower that. So you either raise up to that standard or probably going to have to hit the door.
Don't let the doorknob hit you. Okay, I got you. Now, this is something I wonder about with you. Obviously, the Aces are here in town.
Yeah.
I know that you're a fan of the Aces, but how nice is it to have a WNBA team in your hometown, born and raised here in Las Vegas, you being a basketball player, college and high school. But how nice is it to have the Aces here in town? You get a chance to go watch them and see them anytime you want.
Yes, it's actually amazing. I tell people that all the time. I love that Vegas is growing. I love that we have the Knights. I know we have, soccer, we have WNBA, we have so many things coming. Raiders now,
Yeah.
Oh my God, like we have an NFL team. We can go watch an NFL game whenever we want. So it's been amazing, and especially the Aces. I wish when I was growing up that there was something like that. I mean, it's inspirational. So little girls in the city looking up to that, and now you have somewhere right at home that you can dream about, getting to that level and executing and playing here in your hometown. That's a dream.
Yes, no, absolutely. That makes me think of a question. Did you have a certain player that you looked up to as a little girl playing basketball?
Yeah, absolutely. The funny thing is, actually, we used to compare, and a lot of people compare Coach Weitz to Pat Summitt, and my favorite player was Candace Parker. So
Wow.
That's actually who I would model my game after in high school, because I was tall, but I knew that I was just tall for the region I was in. Like, I'm 6 feet, that's a guard in the WNBA. I'm sorry, but in high school, of course, they're like, you're 6 feet, you're so tall, you're a post, and it's like, yeah, no. And I played in the Big 12 where posts start at 6'3", 6'4", Texas, Oklahoma, Baylor. You're a guard.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, definitely a transition, but
Okay. Pat Summitt. Yeah, I can see the comparisons. I mean, especially in the amount of titles won.
Yeah.
And the fact that we kind of talked off air a little bit, but the fact that the girls basketball team just won another state championship.
Yeah.
You won a championship while you were there. For us, like myself, who played high school sports, what's it like to actually win a state championship?
Oh man, it's one of the best feelings ever. And I think what's so special about what Coach Weitz does is a lot of people don't see it behind the scenes, is that she builds us from middle school. So by the time that we even get to high school, we already know what the standard is. So you've had a chance to quit. You've had a chance to bow out gracefully if you needed to. And so for those of us who are there, it's because we choose to be there. And we want to be a part of what she's doing and what she's building, and we want to contribute to that. So at that point, you've already eliminated all the other stuff, the unnecessary stuff that kind of slows you down. So we're all on the same page and we're all headed towards the same goal at that point. And so that's the most special thing to me, is that she's willing to put in the time beforehand to even build up to by the time we get to high school. And then that feeling is amazing, because at that point we have such a close bond as a group, because we've all went kind of through this as like a training up to high school. Now we're in high school, and now we finally win a state championship together, and this is what we've worked for our whole, basketball careers. And so that's one of the best feelings. It's one of the most undefeated feelings in my life to this day.
That's really cool. That's really cool. By any chance, you guys, did you go undefeated that season? Did you guys win it? Do you remember? I know it's so long ago.
Oh my God, you're making me my age show, Jesus. But I want to say we were undefeated during the regular season, so the high school season. And then once you get into playoffs and all that, I can't really remember. But
I got you.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So long ago.
So I've aged well, hopefully.
Nah.
It's aged well, though.
There you go. Jada Brown, former Centennial Bulldog, former Kansas Jayhawk. Now she's a professional selling homes here to folks who have more money than I do. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.